Okay, last one. True mid-game breakdown even before the break.
Yeah. Watch your mouth. There's two great quarterbacks going toe-to-toe.
It is two good quarterbacks going toe-to-toe. Yes. Chandler Morris going up against Darian Mensah. The first game, again, was 31-3 going into the fourth quarter. Final score, 31-17. 34-17, excuse me. Forgot the late Virginia field goal. So what's different and what are the expectations for this matchup? Again, another rematch from a game. This one happened just a couple weeks ago.
We got to ask ourselves, like you mentioned, it was 31-3 after three quarters. Was Duke setting Virginia up for the rematch? Like, was Duke playing the long game?
Did Duke know that Clemson over Louisville 20-19, where Louisville missed 2 field goals in the final 2 minutes, would propel them to the ACC championship game based on win percentage of conference opponents? Did they? I don't know. Here's what I do know. Since the start of November, which is on the other side of an off week, Duke's defense, their best performance was against North Carolina, which everybody else that they've played, any offense with a pulse since the start of November, it's kind of carved Duke up a little bit. Not necessarily what you would expect given Manny Diaz's own defensive history, but this season they've had trouble being able to go out there and get stops. Now, I think Darian Mensah can score on a lot of defenses, including Virginia's. Heck, that's why we've got a total here that you see on the screen at youtube.com/cover3 that is remarkably higher than a lot of the other games that we have been discussing. But can it be enough? And can Virginia get stops? Can Duke get stops? What's the expectation?
I'm not confident that Duke will get enough stops because, as you mentioned, I'll put some numbers to it, Chip. Points allowed per drive by month for Duke. August, 1.55. It was one game. 2.45 in September, 1.95 in October, 3.04 in November. Like,
that means every single time the opponent got the ball, they at least got a field goal on average.
And when you look across the board at like the stats I care about, and I'm looking at them right now, the last month, just everything has gotten significantly worse. They are in a bad place defensively. I mean, I don't know if it's just everything's kind of on tape, so their opponents have figured stuff out that maybe was confusing teams earlier in the year, and now everybody's just like, okay, this is what they're doing when they do this. But defensively, this team is a mess. Offensively, I think Virginia, they're not. I mean, it's neither of these teams is elite at anything, but I think offensively, Virginia is good enough to where, as we saw in the first game, I do think they will be able to move the ball. I think the bigger question in this one will be, can Duke have a better offensive performance in this game than they had in the first one?
Yeah, that's their recipe, is sort of the opposite of BYU having a chance. This one has to be a shootout for Duke to want to win, which we could see. I mean, that's why the point total is high. I just go back and I was watching the UConn game, and it was like UConn had the lead and then Duke would score, and you'd be like, all right, well, now they got to buckle down and get a stop. And they just could not stop UConn's offense. I mean, so I don't picture them getting many stops. I want to say McKenzie said that their sports line model had Duke as a favorite.
Yeah.
You think that makes sense?
I don't agree with it, but I know that the early action on this included as soon as it was posted, it bumped down to 2.5, and then I think it's gone back up to 3.5. There is a corner of the, I guess, the sports betting world that probably does believe Duke's just unlucky. You know, like if you think that turnovers are all luck and have nothing to do with, I don't know, your ability to hang on to the damn football.
Right.
Like turnovers can be a skill to some way. If you look at the yardage differentials, the success rate differentials, like you go back to the Georgia Tech game, you go back to some of those earlier games, then yes, you may feel as though Duke is due. I want to make it clear, I am not in that category. I think that Duke's issues with turnovers, I think Duke's issues with special teams and the kicking game, I think that is just kind of who they've been this season. And I think you cannot imagine as though the coin's going to flip the other way. Because do you know what this is? This is the coin flipping the other way from what happened last year. They won 9 games last season. 5 of them were one-possession games? Maybe even 6 of them were one-possession games. So the water is finding its level. I don't know if I'm going to jump on the other side of I'm not going to jump on the other side just thinking that Duke's due to not turn it over, especially in this spot.
I'd like the turnover thing, just something I've been written about for a few years now. If you look on the season turnover margin, Duke's 25th. They've got a positive turnover margin. So even if you want to argue that's luck, argue it's luck. When it comes to points off of turnover margin, Duke's 65th. Duke's not unlucky. They're just not good enough to take advantage of the turnovers.
I mean, Duke was only 14-13 versus Big Ten powerhouse Illinois. So, I mean, clearly they're capable of playing against the best competition in the country.
If they just hadn't turned the ball over 5 times.
And I think 4 more in the red zone, weren't they?
Yeah,
yes.
If they just hadn't done that,
they would have won.
Mm-hmm.